Welcome back to my channel. I am Jashira, and I am a Akashic record reader, an incarnated angel, and a palm reader. Thank you so much for being here. So today, as I am recording today, it is the Three Kings Day where I am at. It's a holiday where we remember the three wise men that came to visit Jesus when he was born. And actually, I have to say that it's one of my favorite holidays. Usually, because when I get presents in Three Kings Day, they're usually better than Christmas presents. I'm not sure why, but it's always been that way. In any case, because I really like this holiday, I wanted to dive into the Three Kings a little bit, or the Three Wise Men. And I honestly hope you like it too. Today we'll be talking about, like I said, the Three Kings, but we'll be going more in depth, at least a little bit. And we'll be looking into whether or not these three magi, these three wise men, were Christian, Jewish, or something else entirely. Because when you look in the Bible, this story is in the Bible as well. When you look in the Bible, you'll see that the story is that the three kings came. They gifted Jesus gold, myrrh, and frankincense, and then they left. Nothing much else is said about them, except that they came from distant lands. And because of that, people, whenever they read the Bible, they kind of assume their own things. Like, for example, that the three kings were Christian or that the three kings were Jewish. But because they come from very distant lands, I've always wondered if that was really true. Also, in Spanish, the three wise men are called the three Magi kings. And Magi is, one word to describe a magician. So I really, really always wondered what that was about. And a few years ago, I decided to research and write an article about the three wise men. So I'm going to be reading this article, and I really hope you like it. But before I start with the reading, I want to give a few news, I guess, a few notifications. I think this will be my only talking video for this month, because the rest of the videos I have scheduled are either music or sound healing. Also, if you want to get news before everyone else, you can totally go ahead and subscribe to my newsletter. I will leave the link down below. In this newsletter, I tell stories, and also I give you the opportunity to get a first look into the sound healing videos that I will post, also the music as well. So you can get a first dibs on that. And also you can be part of telling me whether or not those sound healing videos work for you. And sometimes I also give away free music, like the ones I post on my page. In the last newsletter, I sent the link to the free Christmas music that I put up. So if you want that, subscribe to my news channel. Subscribe to my newsletter, and let me know write to me, write to my email. Let me know that you want that music in MP3, and I will send it to you completely free. All right. So that being said, oh wait, one more thing. Also, if you want to have a reading with me, uh, definitely go ahead and write to my email. I will send you the link to Etsy, or I will send you the link to my PayPal. I am working on looking for and creating a website for easier access, but for now, that's all I got. So, if you want a reading with me, go ahead and write to me to my email, which I will also have linked down below, or you can look it up in my bio page. All right, so let's start. This article, I wrote it a few years ago, but I think it's still pretty up to date. If I do get more information, then I'll probably record another video for you guys. But up until now, and after researching and writing this article, I realized that the some things that I mentioned here, like one of the religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs, religious system that I mentioned here, is actually a closed system. So I may not be able to look deeper into it. But if I do find something, I'll definitely make another video for you guys. Okay? So let's begin. Were the three wise men Persian magi? Religious entities and researchers seem to differ on this opinion. The tradition of the three wise men for the three magi has been celebrated for centuries in different parts of the world on the day of January 6th. On the evening of January 5th, all the children go out to gather grass or hay to give the camels or horses, depending on which version of the story you look at, of the three wise men, and then go to bed dreaming of the presents the three wise men would leave them the next day. We all know the story of how the three wise men, traveling with the guidance of the Star of Bethlehem and gifting baby Jesus myrrh, gold, and incense. We also know about how there was a fourth wise man, Artaban. His name was Artaban, who got lost and arrived after Jesus' death. But is that all there is to this story? Were there really three wise men that went to see Jesus? Were they truly just researchers of knowledge and well educated? Let's find out who the three wise men were and where did this tradition come from. How did the three wise men came to be? The concept of the three magi took form throughout time, having been added to by philosophers, artists, and scholars. According to National Geographic, the three wise men first appeared as a priestly caste from Media and Persia. Later on, in the 3rd century, a theologist and writer named Origenes proposed that there had been three magi who visited Jesus because of the three gifts that were presented to the baby. 2nd century paintings from the Santa Priscilla catacombs presented the wise men as three noble Persians, as stated by the National Geographic. In the 8th century, I had to count that. In the 8th century, the Magi were depicted as kings and also got their names, which are Melchior or Melchor, Gathaspa, Gaspar or Gaspar. That's what they call gathaspa in different places. And bithisarea, which turned into Baltazar. Depictions of the three magi. The three main wise men were described with different characteristics, representing different parts of the world that were known at the time. Melchor was described as an old white man with a white beard. He represented the white European races from the north, as well as the concept of old age. Gaspar is often shown with brown hair and brown beard. The second Magi represents the ancient races of and youth. Baltazar, with his black skin, is sometimes portrayed with or without facial hair. He is representative of Africa as well as the concept of maturity. Wise men versus Magi. You might have noticed that in this article, wise men and magi are used interchangeably. This is because in Spanish, the title of the three wise men is Los Threewisemen. Translated literally, it is the three magi kings. Throughout the ages, scholars, theologians, and devotees alike have struggled with the term magi whenever it is referred to Melchor, Gaspar, and Baltazar, defending that the three did not practice magic at all, but were just well educated men. Many consider that magi is just a reference to wise men. For example, in the book El Deseado de Todas las Gentes, the author says that the Greek term magoi designates men of various educated classes. These wise men were not magicians in the modern sense of performing magic. They were of noble birth, educated, wealthy, and influential. They were men of integrity. Still, magi persists in some denominations that the wise men are given. Where the wise men were said to come from might be the reason why in many places they are still referred to as magi. The three wise men were Persian. Ancient texts and beliefs place the origin of the three wise men in either Persia, which is today is Iran, or adjacent lands. More specifically, they were said to be from the Orient or the east of Palestine. From the first millennium before Christ and until the 7th century after Christ, when Muslims invaded, the Persians, although of the diverse ancestry, practiced what is now known as Zoroastrianism. Wow, that was hard. Zoroastrianism, states the Britannica Encyclopedia. And according to biblical archaeology, the majority of scholars place the birth of Jesus in 4th BC or before. This means that when Jesus was born, Zoroastrianism was still strongly practiced in Persia. Stephen E. Flowers, PhD, states in his book called Original Magic, The Rituals and Initiations of the Persian Magi, that the prestige and reputation of the Magian priests of Mazda are nowhere clearer than in the Christian story of the three wise men. This short narrative tells of the group of magoi or magi that visited the recently born Jesus. The point of the existence of the story is that early Christians wanted to show that they had the approval of the Magians or the Magi's, then thought to be the most prestigious priesthood in the world. So, what is Zoroastrianism then? If the Christians wanted to gain their approval, Zoroastrianism or mazdayasna is one of the oldest practiced religions based on the teachings of Zarathustra or Zoroaster as the Greek called him. It is said that Zarathustra was born into a polytheistic religion, but after getting a vision of a single supreme entity, he began to teach others to mainly worship the god Ahura Mazda. Zoroastrianism is believed to have helped shape the three main religions of today, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, by introducing the beliefs and concepts of the idea of a single God, heaven, hell, and a day of judgment, which these three religions didn't have before coming in contact with Zoroastrianism. In Zoroastrianism, they also believed in a version of the ultimate battle between good and evil. It was said that their god, Ahura Mazda, was in a constant battle with Angra Mainyu, which represented everything bad and evil. This is the reason that Zoroastrianism is also said to be a religion of dualism. Fire and water were important tools for the Parsis. The Parsis were the followers of Zoroastrianism, and they became known Parsis after becoming refugees due to the Muslim invasion of Persia. The Parsis considered fire and water as purification tools. They had fire temples that contained an altar with a flame that was never extinguished, according to history. Truth and righteousness were very important values for them. So let's go into the Persian magic. According to Stephen A. Flowers, PhD, the Mazdan magic, or craft of the magu, is not sorcery like many Greeks and Romans of ancient times tried to make other people believe. Instead, it is a combination of spiritual wisdom or insight and science by which things are revealed and or made to happen. Persian magic is the applied science of ritual and cosmology. As Zoroastrianism came in contact with other cultures, many outsiders couldn't comprehend their teachings, and so they tried to make others believe that the magavans, or the Magi's, were sorcerers or practitioners of witchcraft that would harm others. This is probably one of the reasons why today people still have trouble with identifying the three wise men as Magi. Persian Magi was seen either as a horrific witchcraft or as a system of spiritual and intellectual enlightenment, depending on the camp to which the writer belonged. Those Greeks who opposed the Persians saw their ideology as witchcraft. Those who admired them called it philosophia or philosophy. The Magi were definitely well educated and famed for their astrological knowledge, which they borrowed from the Egyptians and the Mesopotamians. The Magi were the first to systemize astrology into a system of magic that they used in their own science and to cast horoscopes. So good were they with astrology that they were credited with its invention even though they only perfected it. The Magi were also credited with the invention of magic by Pliny the Elder, a famed first century historian, even though, again, they did not invent magic. So, were the three wise men Magi? According to many studies and researchers, it seems to be that they were indeed Persian Magi and they did practice quote unquote magic. Hopefully, this doesn't discourage anyone from celebrating this sacred holiday, as many still argue that the three magi were magicians that practiced magic. Research states otherwise. Nevertheless, it is a beautiful tradition and story that contains many lessons regardless of individual opinions. Keep celebrating and keep believing. Alright, so that is all I have for you today. I hope you like this. I will link the article in the description so you can take a look at it yourself. If you like this video, if you like this article, if you celebrate the Day of the Three Wise Men, or you just like it, let me know in the comment section. If you know anyone who likes it, definitely share the video, give it a big thumbs up. And remember, if you want to get first info on what I will post on YouTube, definitely subscribe to my newsletter. And if you want a reading with me, go ahead and write to my email so I can give you the different readings that I have. There's really between Akashic record reading and palm reading. I would definitely be very, very honored if you want a reading with me. I love doing readings. It's so cool. So yeah, thank you so much, and I will see you again on our next video. Angelic blessings. Bye.